All rights to the characters and storyline of Fruits Basket belong solely to its creators and copyright holders. This text is a fan-created interpretation and does not claim any ownership or official affiliation with creators or distributors of Fruits Basket. All references to the characters and their development are based on the original work and are intended solely for entertainment and discussion purposes. Warning: this text contains discussion and depictions of eating disorders which may be triggering for some readers. Please proceed with caution and prioritize your mental health. If you or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder, help is available. Reach out to the National Eating Disorder Association, helpline at 1-800-931-2237, or visit their website at www.nationaleatingdisorders.org for support and resources. Puppet Strings, Chapter 8. Tohru, using the last reserve of her energy, busied herself with chores around the house. Each task, while mundane, was a small victory in her ongoing battle. She scrubbed the countertops, dusted the shelves, and tidied up the living room with a sense of quiet determination. The familiar task provided a fleeting sense of control and normalcy amidst the chaos of her recovery. As she was wiping down the kitchen counter, the phone rang, its sudden intrusion slicing through the quiet hum of the house. Tohru's heart skipped a beat. She and Kyo had agreed to focus solely on her recovery, limiting contact with the outside world to avoid unnecessary stress. They had been maintaining a low profile, and the idea of breaking that routine felt unsettling. Yet for some reason, she felt compelled to answer the call. She hesitated for a moment, her hand hovering over the receiver. With a deep breath, she picked it up, her fingers trembling slightly. The familiar voice of Yuki greeted her on the other end. "Hello, Tohru? It's Yuki. I'm relieved to finally hear from you. I've been trying to reach both you and Kyo for a couple weeks now. Is everything all right?" Tohru's throat tightened. She hadn't expected this call, and the pressure to respond felt immense. She forced a reassuring tone into her voice. "Hi, Yuki. Yes, everything's fine. We've had some issues with our internet and cell service, but it's been fixed recently." Yuki's response was cautious. "That's good to hear. I was getting worried. I just wanted to check if you and Kyo were still planning to attend the New Year's celebration at the Soma estate. It's coming up soon." The mention of the New Year's celebration struck Tohru like a bolt of lightning. The realization that the event was intimate and overwhelming. Her mind raced with images of the celebration, the grand dining tables, the myriad of dishes, and the expectation of social interaction. The thought of having to face it all, while trying to maintain her recovery, filled her with dread. Her breathing became shallow and her heart began to race uncontrollably. The room seemed to close in on her. Yuki's concern was evident in his voice. "Tohru, are you okay? You sound stressed. What's wrong?" The panic surged, and Tohru found herself unable to articulate her fears. The anxiety was consuming her, and she felt as if she were slipping further away from reality. She could barely catch her breath, and the pressure in her chest became nearly unbearable. Just then, Kyo walked in from work, his presence immediately noticeable. He saw Tohru clutching the phone, her face pale and her breathing erratic. Without hesitation, he crossed the room, his concern deepening as he took in her state. "Tohru, you need to calm down," he said gently, his voice firm yet soothing. He carefully took the phone from her trembling hand. "Let me handle this." He glanced at the caller ID and recognized Yuki's name. "Yuki, it's not a good time right now. We'll call you back later," Kyo said, trying to sound as composed as possible. Before Yuki could respond or protest, Kyo ended the call. Tohru was already moving towards the bathroom, her anxiety driving her emotions. She stumbled inside and sank to her knees beside the toilet, her body shaking as she fought to regain control. Kyo followed her, his heart heavy with concern. He knelt beside her, wrapping his arms around her in a comforting embrace. "It's okay, Tohru," he whispered, his voice soft and reassuring. "I'm here. Just focus on breathing. You're going to be okay." Tohru's sobs and the sound of her distress filled the small bathroom. Kyo held her close, his own emotions a turbulent mix of sadness and helplessness. The sight of her struggling so intently was almost too much for him to bear. He wished he could erase her pain and make everything better. After a few moments, Tohru's breathing began to slow, but the distress was still evident in her eyes. Kyo helped her sit up and leaned against the wall beside her. He looked at her with a mix of love and determination. "What happened?" he asked gently. Tohru's voice was barely more than a whisper. "New Year's, the celebration." Kyo's heart sank and the realization hit him. The New Year's celebration of the Soma estate was a high-profile event, filled with social expectations and a significant amount of food. The thought of attending such an event while dealing with her recovery was daunting, and Kyo could understand why the idea had caused her so much distress. Kyo took a deep breath, trying to gather his thoughts. I understand why this is hard for you, he said softly. The idea of facing that celebration with all the food and the judgmental eyes, it's a lot to handle. I'm feeling overwhelmed by it too. You don't have to go through this alone, Tohru. He paused, looking deeply into her eyes. We'll face it together. We'll work through it, step by step. We'll make a plan to manage the situation and support each other. I promise you, we'll get through this. Tohru looked at him, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and gratitude. The reassurance in Kyo's words provided a small beacon of hope amidst her turmoil. She nodded slowly, the weight of her anxiety still present, but softened by Kyo's unwavering support. As they sat together in the bathroom, Kyo's presence was a comforting anchor. He continued to hold her close, his touch steady and warm. They knew that the path ahead would be challenging, but Kyo's commitment to supporting Tohru and his promise to navigate the difficulties of New Year's celebration together offered a glimmer of hope. Despite the obstacles they faced, Kyo's dedication to helping Tohru through her recovery and their upcoming challenges remained resolute. Together, they prepared to confront the future, one day at a time. Hi, my name is Angel. I hope you liked this. If you did, please get a like and subscribe. If you want to hear more, check out my website, or if you want my books in an easier to read format, check out my Wattpad. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.